what in the heck is happening. Good, bad, ugly, and mediocre people of YouTube. I wonder if you can see me. I'm guessing it's not too bad. It's that time of year in Michigan. I got shorts on as well as a hoodie. And it's windy out. And it's been like 70 degrees, but really windy. It's like, well, actually today I think it's like 68 and windy. So I wanted to go for a doggone boat ride, so I ended up putting my convertible top up. I don't know if I ever showed this or not. I got a full convertible top, so I can go out in any weather. You know, I got my bow closed up here. I'll give you another look at it from the outside. I got my bow closed up, and then as you can see, got full convertible top on this boat, so that when the weather's shitty or if you get caught in the rain or whatever, whoa, you can put it up, still go for a boat ride, not get too wet. So anyhow, I've been looking back on some of the old Tonewood videos. And as much hatred and dumb shit as that brought out, it was fun. I tend to agree with Bruce on... I like debating that stuff. And I found a video where a guy has a Stratocaster. He's got one that has an ash body. He's got an ash body Stratocaster as well as a acrylic body Stratocaster. And what he did is he just swapped the electronics, the pick guard, you know, swapped it out and swapped the neck out. And did a blind test, and I could tell a difference in sound. And I've always said that I don't think species of wood makes much of a difference in tone. However, I think it's, you know, really in the build. But in watching that video where he took the neck off, basically put a neck on an acrylic strap body and then onto an ash body and swapped the pick guard, you know, with all the electronics in it. And there's definitely an audible difference. Now, I couldn't tell you which is which, but there's definitely a difference. But, you know, it got me thinking. There's a million things out there, and you know, if having an ash body or a basswood body or a fucking mahogany body, if it inspires you to play, then do it, man. You know, I think a lot of the guys that were kind of arguing this stuff, you know, it's people like me who, you know, I don't want to see anybody get ripped off. And I don't think that wood species makes as big of a difference as, you know, they market it to be. But shit, I can remember buying guitars just solely on the way they look. And did it make me a better player? Well, yeah, because it inspired me to play more. And sometimes you have talent that's kind of hidden, you know. And you get something new and it inspires your brain or whatever to bring that talent out of you. You know, there's things like chords. People say, oh, well, this chord makes for a better sound. Or, you know, if a fucking 4-foot curly Q chord inspires you and makes you a better player, then by all means, you know, go get it. But like I say, I just don't ever trust advertisers, I guess, is what. And I never got involved really one way or the other with the whole Tonewood thing. I always said I don't give a shit if a guitar looks like dog shit. If it plays good and sounds good, I'm gonna play the motherfucker. So that was always my take. I never cared about it, and I guess maybe I didn't realize how much the guitar companies were marketing this stuff to people. You know, until, well, basically, I mean, Will's Easy Guitar brought that up. You know, I mean, he did the physics and the science behind it. And if you really listen to, I mean, he really researched it and taught the physics. Gotta put my outdrive down a little bit there, get steering better. Like I said, it's really windy. You know, he did the science, the physics behind it, and if you go by the science and the physics, I mean, it's undeniable. You know, I mean, you know, then the other side of the argument, you got guys plugging in two different guitars and wondering why they sound completely different. I think a lot of guitar players hear with their eyeballs instead of their ears, because obviously, you know, a guitar, if a guitar looks a certain way, you know, you can imagine, you know, playing metal on that guitar, or country on this guitar, or, you know, whatever, bluegrass on this guitar, just by the way it looks, you know. But, you know, I remember my Uncle Cody used to come to town. He used to play my Randy Rhoads offset V, and he was a country picker, you know, and he played the shit out of some country music on that, you know. This is when I'm a kid. I'm talking about before when I was too young to realize that, you know, it didn't matter what type of instrument you had, you could pick anything you wanted on it. But yeah, it blew me away. You know, I was playing metal on it, and he picked it up, and he's picking all this country stuff, which I always thought country music was easy, you know, until I started trying to play some of the stuff he was playing, and it really blew my mind. And I'm a country music fan. Outlaws country, Hank Williams Jr., Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings. Really like those guys a lot. My dad was a huge fan. And like I said, growing up, I grew up in a really strict home, and but the one thing, you know, we really had was our music. Your music was yours, and, you know, whatever you like, that's, you know, you do your thing with it. And pretty much everyone in my family is musically inclined in one way or another. A lot of people in my family, maybe not everyone in my family, but I have tons of relatives that are all in bands, and singers, and guitar players, and drummers, and bass players, and so yeah, you know, I mean, I guess, you know, I was looking back on a lot of that Tonewood stuff. Well, you know, Bruce lately, he was been doing some really cool amp demo videos. God, some of that stuff he's got just sounds so sweet, you know. And we're not talking, you know, some exotic, super expensive amps or whatever. I mean, I guess they are now today, but you know, we're talking about amps that you wouldn't necessarily associate with, you know, phenomenal tone or whatever. You just wouldn't think about it, you know. And he's really been doing some cool stuff lately. So it kind of got me searching back into the Tonewood videos and watching some of that stuff over. And I thought, you know, because I always, like I said, during that whole period of time, I always said it doesn't affect me one way or the other. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm not going to go. I still won't. I'll never go buy a guitar based on the species of wood. I'm going to buy a guitar. Usually 90% of it is really how it feels. You know, I can always change the tone. I can always, and with me, you know, and I'm getting away from that a little bit, but I've always been an EMG guy. And basically, you know, you throw EMGs in anything and it sounds, you know, you're in the same zip code, you know what I mean? I mean, all my recordings are in the same fucking zip code. It might sound a little different because of scale links and stuff like that, but for the most part, you know, you're in the same zip code. But I'm kind of getting away from that too. Been messing around with some passive pickups lately. You know, and I had this dream And I have this really vague memory of these two guitars that I know I owned them. And I'm still trying to put my finger on it though, because I can't exactly remember when I owned them. I had something with P90s in it. And I remember not playing that guitar a lot because I just thought, you know, it's got these crappy looking plasticky looking pickups in it. But I remember it sounded kick-ass. Which brings me to, I hope the sun's not you guys in the thing too much there. Which brings me to, I had a Harmony Les Paul. And that thing, it wasn't the greatest, although I didn't know about how to set up a guitar properly back then. But it wasn't the greatest feeling setup, but man, those pickups kicked fucking ass in that guitar. But I used to use my Les Pauls for mostly like acoustic stuff. Let's see, I'm gonna put this blower on. I hope that's not too loud. I know you guys are gonna get a lot of noise anyway because we're in the boat, so I kind of gotta put the blower on because we're just kind of cruising around here real slow. But yeah, I'm trying to remember when I owned these guitars, and I remember I had them for quite some time, and I don't remember if I sold them, if I gave them away, or what I did. I've had so many guitars over the years, and one of the ones I miss the most is that Harmony Les Paul, and the other one I miss bad is it was a PV, like a Super Strat, with the two single coils and then a humbucker down at the Floyd Rose. It was like electric blue color, and man, that was a fucking bad. I wish I'd have never sold that guitar. But yeah, I've had so many fun. And then I had Joe Satriani series Ibanez's. I don't know how many of those I've owned. I've loved every one of them. I thought every one of them were great. Nowadays, I don't think they put, in the original ones, the first ones they came out with, they put two humbuckers in it. And now I don't think they do that. I think they put like one single coil and a humbucker. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking, you know, I never really said that back then, that, you know, hey, if what inspires you is, you know, to have an alder body guitar and it inspires you to bring more talent out of you, by all means, man, there's nothing wrong with chasing tone. You know, I've been chasing it all my life, and I'll probably never quit. Although, you know, my rig's always been kind of set up the same. But, you know, there's always those times when, man, your amp's just firing on all friggin' tubes, you know. And things are just, there's those nights when the fucking magic happens, you know. And when the magic's there, you can't stop. You just keep going. I had a night like that just a few days ago where I was just practicing. I wasn't with anybody. I was just practicing by myself, but it was one of those nights, man. I couldn't fucking hit a wrong note, and everything was sounding great. Fuck, I ended up playing till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys. You know, whatever inspires you to become a better musician, or maybe you're not even interested in. There's a lot of people that aren't even interested in necessarily being musicians. A lot of people just like to fiddle around with the guitar once in a while, you know. And I went through like a whole 5-year period where I didn't play that much. That's what I did. I fiddled around with it every so often. And then I got back into it, and, you know, it's an everyday thing again for a long time now. And it's, you know, it's been a part of my life since I was, I think, 13. That's when I got my first real good electric guitar. So here we are. I'm going to give you guys a little outro. Oh, there goes part of my... See, I got my top set up so that I can flip this open and give you guys a quick shot at the lake. Little outro here. Beautiful out here. I'm going to go for a little ride here. Just kick it around the lake a little bit. Wanted to get this convertible top on anyway, just to kind of try it out. Haven't had it on in a while. And what better reason than it's a little chilly out, a little windy out. Put the convertible top up and enjoy the fucking lake, you know. So, all right, everybody, I will talk to you next time. Peace.